I have released 3 games and I can tell if you're going to finish your first game by how you plan it. Because most people, they either try to build GTA 6 or they build Trello. What you need is going to be the third option. So we're going to cover everything from planning the core details of the game to planning just before you release. So let's start with the idea. This is going to be relevant even though you might have a general idea of what you want to make in a game. This is still going to be relevant to you because we still need to turn this idea into a plan that we actually can follow. So if you don't have a game idea, what you're going to do is that you're just going to pick one mechanic. So for example, for my newest game, Orbital Chaos, my one mechanic in that game was that time slows down when you move upward, and then I made a game around that. So what you're going to do, first pick one mechanic, and this is going to be like the base of the game. This is going to be the core of the game. And then after that, you're going to pick a theme and an art style around that. So pick whatever you want. For my game, for example, it was just simple shapes. And it also had like a neon sci-fi vibe to it. And the text and like the UI was pixel art. And then you can turn this into a core game loop. So just think of this mechanic, think of the art style maybe, if that's relevant, and then turn this into a core game loop. Just think, how can I make a game out of this mechanic? So how do the player lose? How do they die? And that's it. And when you're making your core game loop and like all the features, you should know roughly 80% of the things that you need to actually implement this core game loop and this idea. And it should also be something that you can finish in around 2 months. And I'm telling you, these 2 rules, if all beginners in game development just follow these 2 rules, people would finish the game 1,000 times more often. Because if you just follow these 2 things, the 80-20 rule and the 2-month rule, literally your chance of releasing a game just went up by 1,000% just by hearing this. And if you actually apply it, you're like 2,000% more likely to actually finish a game. Like I'm telling you, I'm not over exaggerating here. Literally, you would be 2,000 times more likely to finish your game if you just follow these 2 rules. So when you're making your core game loop, you should know roughly 80% of the idea that you have, and then you should be able to finish it within 2 months. Follow these 2 rules, you're going to finish very likely. And just now, before you get all these crazy ideas, I really don't want you to just think, what features can I add? This is going to apply while you're actually developing the game itself, but it's very important when before you're starting the game as well, that you just don't think, what features can I add? How can I make this game as complex as possible? Just keep it very simple. Instead of thinking what can I add, think what can I remove? Make the game as fun as possible while keeping it as minimal and simple and realistic as possible. So after this video, maybe you can just write down all the ideas that you have. But now I want to talk about how we're actually going to plan the game and how we're going to start prototyping the game. So what I want you to do right now is to go on a website called Trello.com. And I want you to make a simple board there. So I want you to make a few lists. I want you to make a to-do list. I want you to make a done list, and I want you to make a doing list. So just set up the board right now. This is going to be the website that I use. Don't make any cards yet. Just have the board open and ready so you can write down the ideas that you have. So you can go do that right now, or at least write down and remember the website. Just at least remember the website. This is very organized and it's very nice when you are making a game. But before we make all the cards and we make this Trello board like huge, what I want you to do is just make a simple prototype of the core mechanic of the game. And this is something that I've begun doing recently. Just make a very simple prototype where you just focus on the core mechanic. Before you actually start planning everything, just make a small prototype before you get all the ideas on your Trello board, because you're going to get so many ideas just from making this prototype. And if you plan out everything before you even have a basic prototype, you're just going to end up planning all these things that doesn't really fit your game, it's not really necessary. Maybe you're going to leave out things that are necessary and you don't really know how to plan it. It's very hard to plan when you don't even have a prototype. So this is what I want you to do. Just spend like a few days, maybe 3 days max. Just make this very core prototype where you just have your core features, your core mechanic basically, before you start planning everything. Just focus on making the core mechanic and like a very small prototype first. So what we're going to write down after you made your core mechanic is just going to be the most important things in your game. This is going to be the things that you can't have a game without. These essential and important things that you can't have a game without, these are the things that you should focus on in the start of your project. You shouldn't focus on making everything perfect, feel awesome, like polish everything. In the beginning, you should simply only focus on the most important and essential things in your game. So that's what I want you to do at this stage. And that's also what I want you to fully focus on. Just make all these core mechanics of your game. For example, that can be like the enemy spawning, that's very essential. It could be the enemy behavior, it can be shooting, it can be like your end screen, your win-lose conditions, like being able to actually start, end the game, all these things. is going to be everything that's essential for you actually having a game. And then what I'm going to tell you, which is going to be a huge help for you if you actually follow, is just to make these systems as changeable and expandable as humanly possible. So instead of just making them and then making everything work in the moment, always be conscious of how this might be expanded and changed in the future. So for example, if you're making an enemy spawning system and you know you're going to have like a few different types of enemies, make it in a way that actually allows you to have multiple types of enemies. Don't just make it so you're going to spawn one very specific type of enemy and it's just going to be a quick solution. Just always think about how you might want to expand these core systems in the future. So in this case, for example, of the enemy spawning, make the enemy spawning in a way that allows you to have multiple types of enemies, if that's something that you very likely is going to want in your game. And a lot of this comes down to how these different systems interact with each other. So for example, this can be how the player's stamina is going to interact with the player movement. Think about what's the most expandable, the most changeable way to do these things. If that's going to be to have the stamina in its own script, if they're going to communicate each other with like a reference in the inspector, if it's going to be an event, if it's going to be like a player manager or whatever it might be, or if we're going to have the stamina inside of the moment or controller, whatever it might be, think about how the different systems in your game is going to interact with each other. Because if you don't do this, it's very easy to make like a very cluttered system where everything is very dependent on each other. So always keep in mind when you're making systems, how do these interact with each other? How can I make this as changeable and expandable as humanly possible? And especially in your core systems, this is going to be very important. Like for example, your specific enemy behaviors for like one specific enemy, it's not like a core system. So for these, it's not that important to focus on expandability, for example, because, well, it's one enemy, you're not going to want to expand that much on it. But for your core systems, this is going to be essential and is worth spending a little bit more time on making the system that's actually changeable and expandable. Okay, awesome. Let's just back out a bit. So before we talk about how you're going to like plan everything all the way until you release, let's just back up and summarize what I just told you, because there's a lot of information. So what I just told you is to make a small prototype mechanic of your game. Just make a very simple prototype. And then after that, you're going to go into Trello and you're going to write down all the most essential tasks that you can do. These are going to be the most essential systems in the game. So that can be, for example, your player stamina, that's very essential, your player health, your end screen, where you actually get a screen when you die and you can reset. For example, your enemy spawning, these very essential systems. And I also told you to make them in a very expandable and changeable way. And you need to be conscious of how you might expand them in the future and how you want these different systems to interact with each other. So hopefully you got a lot of value from this, and I didn't just value bomb you. I did, but not too much, hopefully. Now I give you this value for free. Now imagine what I can do inside of Smartini. Smartini gives you everything that you need to plan out your first game. I have in detail modules about how you're going to plan. I have a free asset guide where you get all the different websites that you can need to have these different assets completely for free. I also talk about the development process when you're actually making the game itself, how you're actually going to finish the game after you plan it. So I have a module for planning, and I also have a module for actually finishing the game once you start on it. You also get the Trello template that I personally use to plan my task in the game. You also get the Notion template where you can plan out what we talked about earlier with the ideas and so on. So if you want all of this, I give you all this for free. Imagine what I can do inside of Smartini. It's the first link in the description if you're interested. Either way, I'm going to give you even more value with how you're going to complete the planning of your game. After you have planned your most essential systems in your game, I want you to plan out everything before you release. And we can make this a little bit more easy to separate them into different milestones. So you can have different milestones. Your most essential systems, that's going to be your first milestone. So you can write down in the Trello, you can just separate them and make a card called milestone 1, make essential systems. And when you're planning out all the tasks that you need to do before you can release the game, don't think about what can I add. As I said before, think about what can I remove. This is going to be very important, especially when you are developing the game itself. It's very important that you don't think what can I add, you need to think what can I remove. Because if you just allow yourself to add features, you aren't going to finish. Because especially in the later stages of a game, adding things is going to take so much more time than adding things in a small prototype and in the beginning. So adding like a simple thing in the later stages of a game might take like 2 or 3 times as long as it might have done like in an earlier prototype. So you need to be very skeptical when you're adding new features in the later stages of the development. Preferably try to remove as many features as possible and make the most minimal version as humanly possible. And also this is going to be your first game, so your first game, the goal isn't going to be make the most awesome game with the most features, because more features doesn't mean good. What you should do is just focus on releasing the game itself, and then you can update the game after you're released. You can obviously do that if you want to, or you can start a new game where you add these ideas that you might have. But I talk about this in a lot more detail inside of Smartini. Also, what I want to mention, when you have these different milestones where you're making features, what you can do is that you can set deadlines. When you set deadlines, it's just going to force you to move forward. So you're always going to make progress. For example, it's just going to push you a little bit more than you would have done if you didn't have the deadlines. So that's everything you need to know. I'm so excited for you making your first game. This is going to be really good. I promise if you just follow all these things, you're so much more likely to finish your first game than all these other beginners, because they just make GTA 6, they don't make a prototype first, they don't plan the way that I told you right now, which is actually the most effective way. This is like the method that I still use, but I kind of try to make it relevant to your first game as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to have a guarantee that you're going to release this, then you can join Smartini with the first link below, where I'll also beta test your game just before release. So that's going to be really valuable. Click the first link in the description to join Smartini. Either way, thank you so much for watching.